so often the way we judge other businesses, we forget to put the same lens on our business, right? And so often what you're looking for is where do the handoffs happen and where is the friction for the client and how do I eliminate that as much as possible?
Hey, welcome back to the Leadership Podcast. My name's Kyle Racky. I'm here with Matt Symes, and we are talking today about the customer journey and just uh, getting visibility into what does it look like from your customer's perspective. Sometimes it's something we miss. I know in software, it's often a good practice for founders to just sign up for their own product and just go through the onboarding process, and you almost always will catch issues. You go, oh my God, we're doing that. We need to fix that. I want to tell just to set the stage, open it with a quick story about a time when it was actually a sales process that I went through to buy a service or a product, and the seller got me with a cold email. It happened to be the exact problem that I had at the moment that I was searching for a solution. I didn't know there was any solutions. I didn't even know what to search for, but he described it accurately to me, and I got on a call and he showed me the product. And I was like, this is what I need. From there, I said, okay, well, how do I buy it? Like, here's my credit card. What do you need? And he said, okay, well, from here, we'll get you a proposal. Look out for that and then just sign off and we'll get started. Okay, great. Number of days go by. I don't see a proposal. And now Mondays rolls around. I email him back. Hey, or I thought you were going to send me a proposal. Oh, I'll have to check with Janice in accounting. The proposals get sent through accounting. And so then now I'm nagging him for one. Finally, I guess I do get a DocuSign from Janice, whose name I don't recognize. He's now emailing me, have you gotten it? Did you look through it? I said, oh, I didn't even see it. It was in my junk. I open it. It's all legalese. It's all these little check marks I've got to go through. I'm like, I almost just gave up on it altogether. And so I tell that story. I tell it a lot for Proposify because really talking about proposal processes and how those can be improved. But I think we could sort of extrapolate that into just a broader lesson, which is, do you know what it's like to buy your own product or to go through your service? And so I think what I want to hear from you is just the customer journey map and all the different ways that businesses can improve it.
I love the way you open that up because there's so much unnecessary friction and so many opportunities to lose you as a client or at least disillusion you as a client. And so maybe I'll ask you a question on this. When you go to a restaurant and you go to a high-end restaurant, how many touch points do you think that restaurant has with you?
Well, it's really the server, right? For the most part, it's 10, 5.
Yeah, so there's somewhere between 40 and 80 ways that that restaurant interacts with you. So you probably called to make a reservation. There was a touch point there. You probably showed up to park. There was a touch point there. You walked in, somebody greeted you. There's a touch point there. You went to sit down. Your butt hit the seat. There's a touch point there. The server came to you. There's a touch point there. They talked to you multiple times over the night. Every one of those are a touch point. You probably went to the bathroom at some point during the show.
Or ask directions
Or
where the
ask
bathroom is.
Yeah, ask direction where how do you get there? That's another touch point. How many of those touch points have to go just not as good as you would have liked in order for you to have a negative experience as a customer?
Just one.
Just one. And so often the way we judge other businesses, we forget to put the same lens on our business, right? And so often what you're looking for is where do the handoffs happen and where is the friction for the client and how do I eliminate that as much as possible? And
Handoffs is where a lot of it goes wrong, isn't it?
it does because I don't share enough of the right information so that the handoff can be done successfully. And people are like, well, I can just send that email over. Probably not. And then you think, why the heck is accounting sending you a proposal? That makes no sense to me in a sales process, right?
Or you buy a service from a seller, a sales rep, and then you get on a call with your account manager and they're asking you all the same questions you already answered during the sales process. And you're like, didn't we already go through this?
Yeah. And look, I can give countless examples of where exploring the customer journey map totally changes the opportunities for improvement that you can not only just sort of live up to the table stakes of what your customers thought they bought, but you have many opportunities to delight them in this. Okay. And if anybody's looking up, a really good book on this, Unreasonable Hospitality is a great book that talks about 11 Madison Park and all the ways in which they understood the customer experience and then worked to do one-off things and then systematize those one-off things so that it just made an absolute delight as a customer. And there's a reason I'm using the word delight. There's a whole science behind this, and it's called the Kano classification number. It talks about basically what do clients expect, what do they express, and what would excite them. There's a whole way to get at this, but the first thing is understanding how does the client interact with your service in the instance, and how do they interact with you over their lifetime? So think about a physio clinic. How do they interact in that single appointment? And then how do they interact over the course of their treatment? And, I had a very, very destabilizing experience with a physio that I worked with. They were absolutely excellent in the moment. Really helped with my dislocated shoulder, moved it around, had some amazing exercises. They had me use equipment that I was like, okay, I want that equipment because I want to do these same exercises at home. And literally, she would not let me buy the equipment and wouldn't tell me where the equipment was. Cause she's like, no, a broom will do it. I don't want to take the bottom of the broom off and use the broom handle to do the exercise that you just had me. I want to buy the weighted bar. Where is that? Nope. No. We don't, you don't need to waste your money on that. She thinks she's protecting me. She's not protecting me. So in the moment, she's done amazing work around that moment. So we get to the end of it and she's like, "Yep, okay, so thank you." Like, "So next appointment?" Like, I had to book my next appointment. And do you think that she checked in with me between those appointments? No. And the most important thing in rehabilitation is not what the physio does to you. It's that you are consistently doing the stuff. And we all know how well people incorporate new physical fitness routines into their life. They don't. So how is she acting as a nagbot? So does that person care about executing on my arm in the moment? Or does she care about me healing? And it's very clear that she may directionally care about me healing, but the way in which that clinic is delivering their service, they only care about the hour they're with you. And so when you look at your organization, you look at the way you're interacting with your clients within the service and across the number of times that they come to you, can you see it? And can you see all the opportunities to make it so much better?
One of the areas that I think more traditional businesses can learn from SaaS, from software as a service, because we have a customer success function within the business. It's not, it encapsulates support, but support is reactive and success is proactive. So customer has an issue, there's a bug, there's a glitch, or they don't know how to do something, they can reach out to support and they'll get back to them quickly and really effectively show them how to fix whatever it is they're doing or fix it for them. Customer success is about proactively looking at, are they getting the desired outcome that they wanted when they first signed on with us? If their goal was to get a higher close rate or to be able to send proposals more effectively, like that's their ideal outcome. And customer success has, what they call QBRs, quarterly business reviews, where they reach out to the customer, they sort of look at the big picture. And then of course, when renewals are happening, they're getting 3 months ahead of that to make sure that they're getting, whatever it is they want from it. And the real point I wanted to make was use customer success software to identify red flag metrics and to measure health scores. So based on how a customer is using or not using the product, you build that into your health score. And so you make sure that you have a list of customers who are extremely healthy and customers who are in sort of the yellow zone, and the red ones are the probably going to churn or probably going to cancel upon renewal. And the customer success manager manages that. So, it's not always possible to automate it as much as maybe we have in software, but I think some of those principles could apply to this.
There's tons of ways to automate this so that it enables the people delivering service to make small little tweaks that are really easy to make, but make the world of difference. People love that you know their name. Nothing sweeter than someone's name, right? I'll give you some examples on customer service and mapping the customer journey map and how you can make small changes that will totally change the trajectory of your business. So you know that I own a coffee shop. a couple great partners in that coffee shop, and we were sitting there going, okay, when we first bring someone in, we want to make sure that we are able to bring them back in. So how can we bring them back in? How can we delight them, bring them back in? So if you come into our coffee shop, you would never know this, but you'll know it now if you ever walk in and you look at the napkins. You just think people have different color napkins. Okay, fine. But me as a business owner and us as a set of people serving them, there are 3 colors. There's a yellow one, there's a green one, and there's a blue one. And they look like they mirror our bags, and they do. But the yellow one means you're in here for the first time. The green one means you're in here for the second time, and the blue one means you've been in here 3+ times. So I can tell at a glance who's here the first time. If I'm here, I'll go over to the yellow table. I'll go, look, I'm really grateful that you came in today. It's really awesome to have you here. Thank you. And, I'll introduce myself as the owner and say, like, it's so awesome to have you in. I'm glad you tried us. What are you thinking? That kind of fun stuff. Our roaster, if he comes out from the back room, he's from Vietnam, and he looks at it. Anybody who sees the first bit, he goes, so glad you came in. I just love seeing people drink my coffee. And he'll introduce himself as the roaster, kind of like the chef coming out. And you can imagine what kind of impact that has. Now, when they go to pay, we have a very standard way we deal with this. We go, okay, first time, go to pay, we offer you a free drink to come back in. Like, you tried our latte this time. I'd love for you to come back in and have a pour over. So please come back in and have a pour over on us. So they'll come back in. Second time they come in. Same thing. We know it's the second time. We know there's vigilance around it, white glove service. Want to make sure that we pay special attention. We're watching. Do you not like what you have? You ordered a latte. Did you get the kind of latte you want? You can see by their expression. Are they enjoying it? So really paying attention to those first and second time visitors. Second time visitor goes to pay. We go, look, it's been awesome to have you on the journey so far. We'd like to invite you to a free tasting. So we have these tastings that cost $30. They're really fun events.
That's into them.
Yeah, they're fun.
Thanks to your generosity.
Yeah, and what I want to, hey, and look, it's I want to share my love of coffee, and we legitimately want to bring you on this coffee journey. Like, coffee doesn't have to taste like the dark roast they market to you. It doesn't have to taste like a burnt ashtray. It can taste good. That coffee journey and the tasting normally gets people excited about it. We get them back in a third time. We know if they come back in a third time, they're likely to engage with us many more times. So we're trying to get them to that third visit. But every part of that journey,
We market the subscription as well then?
we talk to them about the subscription if it's appropriate the first time. We don't want to be too hard the first time. By the third time, we're consistently talking about the subscription, because our whole goal is for you to drink better coffee at home. We have all the equipment. We can sell it to you right away. We want you, because, the world's best coffee, if you brew it at home, is like $4 a cup. You can't get the world's best wine for $4 a cup. So why I'm droning on about this is that we've mapped the customer journey, not only in the instance they come first, but all throughout. And then we are consistently improving upon how that experience is felt and how do we delight them. And we're actually learning this summer that there's a whole new crew coming in for about 10 weeks or so that are tourists. And that's a different type of customer than a local. And we're learning, okay, how do we excite them? They're asking us, like, where else should we go in Moncton? So we're in the middle of creating maps of all the great foodie places to go, because we're a foodie place, and then we can circle a few of them. It's one thing we get asked all the time. So why not give them a map, Epic Chemistry? We can send them to a couple of our great partners, all that fun stuff. We've all been to an airport. Okay. I know it's a bit of a harsh transition, but we've all been to an airport. And, nobody wants to wait for their bags. So the Houston airport had a high level of complaints about waiting for their bags. They were also in the 0.01% most efficient at getting the bags off the plane to the carousel. And most people would go, well, we got to do that faster. You can't really do it much faster. But what they ended up doing was making the journey from the plane to the carousel longer, introduce you to Texas, introduce you to the local delights. They made it economically better for the airport, and they made it more delightful for the customer. And the customer took now a little bit longer to get to the baggage carousel, and their bags were there. Complaints went down.
They masked the wait time.
They did.
Do you know who does that really effectively? Is video games.
Yes.
This has been around forever, which
Yep.
is that you play a cutscene while the next level's loading. So the player is watching a cutscene, and then it feels like as soon as the cutscene's over,
You want to feel like
ready.
you're being taken care of. You want to feel progress. You want to get some element of excite and delight. So when you actually map the way the customer is interacting with your service, you will find all kinds of opportunities to co-create value at almost no cost. There is no cost to us to put a different napkin down in front. And yet the number of new customers we are turning into lifetime customers is going through the roof now.
So this really just comes down to mapping out the customer journey and maybe even experiencing it yourself. Like I know Jeff Bezos is famous for, when he was the CEO of Amazon, regularly calling in to support and just seeing how the experience is to get support.
You're going to have a bunch of data in your business and you're going to have a bunch of commentary. When the commentary suggests something different than the data, believe the commentary until you disprove it. And that's the golden rule in this, because people's perception matters more than your average as a business owner. And I think the hardest lesson for a business owner to understand is they don't give a shit about how well you regularly perform. And so if you have high variance in how you deliver your service, if you have high variance in the people who represent you delivering a service, you're going to have high variance in how the customer feels that service. And that is going to confuse the customer. So how do we all level up and give a consistent, excellent customer experience?
Which is what chains and franchises are typically good at, right? Is creating at least consistency. At least Tim Hortons has consistently shitty coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
They give you consistency and predictability.
Let's talk about the leadership program. So maybe talk about what, some of the frameworks around customer journey mapping that you guys offer within the program.
So the first thing, and I go back to base principles, right? What problem do you solve for who? What's the value of solving it? Okay, I need to know that because that is going to inform the customer experience that I want to have, which is going to inform the capabilities I need to have to deliver it. So articulate what problem do you solve for who? What's the value of solving it? It is very hard to give the same product to multiple different customer expectations. Very difficult to do. Even if you can deliver the product, you can't deliver the experience. And the experience matters. In this world of abundance, the experience matters more than the product. The product's table stakes or the service is table stakes. The experience is what matters. So what we'll do is we'll get really clear around what problem are you solving for who, what's the value of solving it. And then we'll take that and go, okay, what does a customer journey map look like for your customer? And go across it. And we will do that particularly if you're seeing high churn. So again, we're back to, is this the number one problem? Is the number one problem in the business that we are seeing high churn? If we're seeing high churn, if we're seeing people who are coming once but not coming back, my guess is we have a gap between what we're promising and what we're delivering, which then the first thing we want to do is map out that customer journey. And we'll map it out from stem to stern and go where are the biggest problems, challenges, and opportunities. And we will do that with the people who deliver it. See, the best way to improve customer service is to map it with the people who do it, to articulate opportunities for improvement with the people who do it, and then to arrive at a few who want to do it.
So then the folks on your team who are responsible for delivery, maybe they already see these gaps. A lot of times they've got great ideas themselves of like, we should be doing this better, but then they're also more motivated to actually enact these changes in the business.
Well, they're deciding which ones to do, and they're going to own getting them done. Right. So we will give you the tools to be able to go map that coherently. And look, there are some organizations where there are certain processes or certain things where it's actually of value to have us join you. And we have these bolt-on services, of course, where we can do projects with you. We will only do them if we can get in-year financial return for doing them, because it's got to have a high ROI. Otherwise, we'll give you the frameworks to go do it yourself.
I like it. So if you're interested in the leadership program, definitely go to leadership.com, check out some information, apply to be in the next cohort, which it's a 12-month cohort-based program. If you can apply to get in, I know it'll be very beneficial if you run a business, especially one that's very much an appointment-based business that's about service and selling hours and, throughput. So check it out, leadership.com. As far as the podcast goes, that's it for now. We'll see you on the next episode.